Wow. Oh my goodness. This is a very strong hand. Shame we don't have any turn 1 and 2 plays, but we have the mana reduction times 3 and 2 really good dragons. And we've got a bounce spell as well, so we can potentially get rid of something like a mana dork, which is sitting right there. So that'll slow them down a little bit. Okay. So do we go for... We could go for the Dragon Speaker Shaman, because then next turn we can just go for the Ancient Copper Dragon, which is ridiculous. Although we might want to set up Sarkhan for that? I'm not really sure, to be honest. Brotherhood's End. We could just wipe them out here. But then we lose the Dragon Speaker. Do they have the removal? I think I'd rather go for Sarkhan, which feels a bit counterintuitive, but if we go for the dragon there and it doesn't have haste, then I feel like it gives them just a chance to hit us. So yeah, our deck is almost comboing in some ways, depending on what the dragon actually is. Like, they're doing all their stuff, like they're doing their dirtly stuff here, but does it really matter when we're going to have a lot of mana in our turn? Right, so we're going to go for this massive haste. It's not haste per se, but it feels like haste. So we're going to swing. Come on, let's get 20. Let's get 20 treasures here. That would be sick. 7 treasures is pretty damn good. 7 treasures, guys. That's ludicrous. So we can literally play all of our cool things and take out their field as well. Well, we can take out 2 of the support cards. Wow, this deck is really strong, and I'm not sure why. Hello, and today we will be looking at Sarkhan Solar Flame, which is a deck I didn't actually expect to be as strong as it really is. Because initially, when I read this guy, I thought that he became a copy of a dragon when it comes in, but I thought it would actually gain the name of the dragon. But in fact, he keeps his name, which means if you play a legendary dragon, you don't have to sacrifice one. So the original build of my deck was non-legendary dragons, but upon finding that out, which was just a silly mistake, yeah, put in legendary dragons, and it's actually so crazy. So let's have a look at the base ability. So dragon spells cost 1 less to cast. That's already really, really freaking good. And then whenever another dragon comes in, you can have Sarkhan become a copy of it until end of turn. Now this is almost too good in some ways. Like for 3 mana, it makes dragons cheaper. That's really fantastic. But when you consider something like one of my favourite synergies that I did with the deck was Glorybringer. So Glorybringer became 4 mana. It comes in, and then Sarkhan becomes a copy of it, and then suddenly you're dealing 8 damage to 2 non-dragon creatures and opponent controls on turn 4. I think that's really good, as long as you're not playing, big heavy hitter decks. Killing 2 creatures on turn 4 and having 2 dragons flying in the air is really awesome. There's all sorts of really sweet things you can do with the deck. Firstly, it's making dragons cheaper. Dragon's Lord Servant is really good, making dragons even cheaper, which is the same ability Sarkhan has. Fearsome Warp, sadly, is an only card. It's a card you can only find on Arena and Alchemy, but it says beginning of upkeep, each dragon in your hand perpetually gains. The spell costs 1 less to cast. If you've got 2 or 3 dragons in your hand with this on the field, it's ridiculously good. We also have Dragon Speaker Shaman, which makes dragons cost 2 less. This is a ridiculous dragon cheapener, and it's one of the very rare cost reduction cards that gives you -2 cost, which is insane. If you combine Sarkhan with some of these huge dragons, you're just going to be laughing all the way to the victory. So Goldspan Dragon is really good as well. Comes down on turn 4. Swinging with this and a Sarkhan, which is a copy of it, you gain 2 treasures, which actually taps for 4 mana, which means you can probably cast another 5-drop. Something like Tear of the Peaks would be crazy. Something like Tear of the Peaks, you want to be careful sequencing though, because when you play this, Sarkhan becomes a copy of it. But Sarkhan's already on the field, so you're not going to get a Terror trigger. So you might want to do this later when you already have loads of mana to double spell dragons to do, like, if you've got this as the Terror of the Peaks and Sarkhan as Terror of the Peaks, then you play another dragon, it's going to be great. Or you can just wait until you've got Lozan out maybe, which is very similar. Whenever you cast a dragon, Lozan deals damage to any non-commander target equal to its CMC, which is really good. So if you have this out and then you cast Silver Dragon, you can deal 8 damage to anything that isn't a commander. So it's really good. Imagine having 2 Niv Mizzets out as well. So the real one, and then Sarkhan, casting any spell draws you 2 cards. There's just so many possibilities. It's a lot like Miriam, which is the team version of the deck, which has green. Very similar, but the fact that he's 3 mana, I think, is awesome. Obviously, he doesn't just make a copy, he becomes a copy, but I still think the applications for this are great because it allows you to break the one rule in Commander and Historic Brawl, which is you're not allowed to have 2 of anything. Any card that lets you have 2 of something is just, it feels wrong, and it's just so good. I really think this deck is strong and up there, and it's actually a delight to play for once. If you want to see the deck list, it will be in the description below. Don't forget you can also donate to the channel via my links, Ko-fi link, or the membership tiers. You can take a look at that to help the channel because it really supports me, keeps me going, given how much time I take out of my family life to make these videos. Appreciate all the support so far, and let's get into the games. Okay, we go first with actually a really nice, really nice starting hand here. The Sprite Dragon is going to be really great. We don't need to reveal anything here because we've got nothing to play anyway. Command Tower Thoughtseize, maybe? Stitches Supply. Okay, so it's a proper Jund reanimation shell they've got going on here. Question is, do we go for the Mind Stone first? Potentially, although next turn we can go for the Sarkhan anyway. Okay, yeah, we'll go for the Mind Stone. It was tempting to go for the Sprite Dragon, just because we could have used it to get some counters later on with the Mind Stone, but I think ramping into the Imrith is going to be more effective, even though we do have the Sarkhan anyway, but yeah, it just feels good to ramp stuff. Did they miss? No, they didn't miss a land drop, they just didn't play any acceleration. Okay. Right, so even if they kill the Sarkhan here, we can still go for the Imrith next turn, which is really good. But if we're going to... this is going to be so sick. Like, if we get to cast the Imrith and have 2 triggers come in, it's going to be incredible. We're going to draw 2 cards. We could even go for the Sprite Dragon, which might actually be better. Or is 2 Imriths better? Yeah, actually 2 Imriths is probably better, isn't it? Just until end of turn anyway. Damn, that's so cool. That feels so powerful, having 2 of those. That's 10 flying damage. Oh my goodness, and we have a counter spell up as well. An offer you can't refuse. Cheap counter spells like this are just so good, especially if you have board wipe or something. Urabrask going to make our creatures come in tapped. But that only really affects us if we have haste. Swinging in for 1. I'm not going to block. I don't want to feed the graveyard any more than we have to. Annoyingly, the Sprite Dragon will come in tapped, so we're going to miss out on the haste here. I don't think they're going to have a board wipe because they played an Urabrask, right? I think what we can do is start going for the Sprite Dragon because we want to get that haste out. And then go for the iteration. Get 2 triggers, so it's going to put counters on the Sarkhan even when it turns back. I think we'll put the Town Razor into hand. Put that in. So annoyingly, we're not going to get to keep up the blue counter magic now. Although I probably should have actually attacked first and then played a land, because we could have had a blue source here. Okay, we get a Braid. So I think we're going to kill the Relic of Legends, because that currently taps for 2 mana. And putting more counters on the Sarkhan is actually really cool as well, because it means when he becomes Sarkhan again, he's actually going to be stronger on the ground. So it's a 4/6 now. Yeah, absolutely love this deck. It's so good. Crux of Fate, they're going to destroy all dragons. Oh, the irony. The irony there that Sarkhan stays alive. But yeah, it is weird because obviously he has the dragon soul within him, but did not hit him. Okay, let's go for a few more dragons. So in that, it's a shame we didn't have the offer you can't refuse up there. And they've already used one board wipe. What are the odds they're going to have another? I suppose the good thing here is that if they do want to target our dragons, they're now going to take 3 damage. Because Thunderbreak Regent says whenever dragon you control becomes target spell ability, does 3. So we have lethal in the air. And if they want to kill one of these, we'll have lethal in the air with the other one. So I think the only way out is a board wipe, to be honest. Shieldred. Don't think that's going to cut it, even though that's really strong having haste with Shieldred there. And that deals 2 to them as well on their end step because of the Town Razor Tyrant. Damn, we really got them good, I think. Time Warp as well, insane. Ah, dragons. Okay, here we are against Italy. I think this is a very, very non-aggressive hand, but I think we'll keep it anyway because the counter spell could be good versus Italy, especially now we're going first. We don't actually have any finishes, but we do have some things to slow them down a bit, which could be good. Here's some Whelp. I think we'll keep the fearsome Whelp because it's a dragon which triggers the dragon's horde. So if we play Dragon's Horde next turn and then fearsome Whelp, maybe we can start drawing some cards here. Garlic Reach is another way for them to ramp. And then next turn we can go for the fearsome Whelp, equip the boots, and maybe swing in, and then we can get the Torrent of Courage is a bit cheaper as well, which should be good. Or if we get another land, we could go for the Whelp and the Sarkhan, which will make the Tyrant 2 cheaper. Okay, so maybe that's a better idea. And they're still quite far off the Italy here. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to deal 4 damage to Sarkhan. So we get some nice triggers as well. We might as well turn him into 1/1. It's a bit dangerous because obviously they could just have an instant speed fight spell here. So maybe it would have been better to actually equip the boots first. I'm feeling that maybe that was a mistake actually. Oh, but they trade. You know what? I'm actually not that bothered about that. I feel like they could have got a lot more use out of their inscription, but there you go. 2 cards for 1 card. Decent. And then next turn, the Tyrant's going to come down and can deal 4 damage to anything, which is nice because the timing is great because that means... Ooh. Sarkhan, so they can deal 3 damage to any target, so they can just kill the fearsome Whelp. Oh, okay, they're going to focus on something else. So yeah, we can go for Tyrant, give it haste, and kill the Sarkhan. I think that's actually really good. Or we can even deal 4 here. And then we can just... Yeah, I think we'll give the boots. We want to protect our threats, don't we? And then finish Sarkhan off and go into the face. Okay. That actually worked out pretty well. So it was actually bad for them to not kill the fearsome Whelp, but I guess they wanted to play their own dragons, so it's a... I take it they've got dragons in their build. Kura. Interesting. Niv Mizzet. Whoa. Okay, that's a really fantastically good hit. So if we swing in with this, this will trade, but then they'll also get 2 lands, or 3 lands. I think I'm okay with that. We want to clear the skies, don't we? Oh no, that's the thing. The Death Touch will trade. So is it worth trading to get 3 lands? Probably. I mean, they could even go for a Spirit, but I highly doubt they do that. So next turn, if we get the Swiftfoot Boots onto the Niv, I think there's no way for us to lose. It's going to be epic. Also, we have the Dragon's Horde to keep drawing cards now, as long as we keep that alive. I definitely think this deck makes normally uncastable dragons good. Because like Torrent of Courage is 6 mana to do 4, normally not that good, right? But 5 mana or 4 mana to do this is just great, you know. And you can also give him the power boost as well later on. And I've just realised in the artwork he's killing some kind of plane. Obviously, they could have a spell to deal some damage to Niv, kill him off. They've got 5 mana, which is more than enough. Just looking at this artwork again. That's the one thing I'd say is good about Arena, is you can see the art all nice and big. So I think this is a trap, so I'm not gonna fall for it here. So they've got a way to deal 2 damage or 3 damage. They'll be able to kill the Niv. Ancient Copper Dragon. Oh my goodness. We don't have enough to give that haste as well. So I think we'll just for now give Niv the boots. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because we want to also leave up. No, let's control Z that. Let's draw a card here. And yeah, leaving up the counter magic. The counter magic's going to be great. So I don't want to go for Sarkhan, to be honest. Because next turn we also have the Copper Dragon, which is going to come in with the haste because it's got the Swiftfoot Boots. We also get to draw a card, so we're probably just going to counter whatever they do here because we get to draw a card anyway with a Niv. And they'll be pretty close to death, I think. So don't forget the Goldspan Dragon taps for 2 treasures. Well, 1 treasure becomes 2. Interesting build though, a dragon dinosaur build. Never seen one like this before. It's normally just value. Counterspell comes down. Okay. And yeah, we got him good. We even had the Sarkhans on there. We could have made some 1/1s to swing and just to make it even easier. Ooh, that felt pretty damn good. Ooh, we go first. We've got a really good hand, actually, versus a Spirit Tribal deck. So, the thing about Spirits is they're going to make lots of 1/1s, right? And we have 2, 3 fantastic ways of dealing with this thing. So, let's just stick with it. Sadly, the Niv can't be made any cheaper with Sarkhan. That is a shame. Because it's got no colourless costs. But, still good. We can use the Opportunistic Dragon to maybe steal something here. Enchantress's presence is going to get them to draw cards. Okay. Not getting a red source there was kind of bad. So now whenever they cast enchantments, they draw a card. So that is something we can kill with the Brotherhood's End, but we just don't have a red source yet. Okay, so there we go. I think we'll probably wait for this. And I think we just go for the dragons here because we need to just start doing damage in the air. Okay, so sadly, if they play the general, they can kill the dragon with the trigger here because they've got 3 spirits. Oh no, it can only target players or planeswalkers. Okay, fair enough. Maybe we swing in the air first. Or maybe we swing both and see what happens. If they block, we can use the Abrade. Yeah, let's do that. No blocks. Down to 13. So then, yeah, we'll use the Consuming Tide to slow him down here. We'll keep... I think we keep the Sarkhan. Because if they do play an artifact, we can steal it later on. Get to draw a card as well. And yeah, now we can counter something like the presence, maybe, if we have to. I think the Ancient Silver Dragon's going to be epic. If we just had a way to give this haste. Binding. Yeah, we'll counter that. Although annoyingly, it does give them 2 treasures, so they can go for the presence here. But we can now also steal a treasure with the dragon, which basically gets rid of it. If we need to. So we can just draw loads of cards here, maybe, if this gets to come down. Issue is we don't have the mana to really use all the cards, so... I think we do it anyway, because it's fun, right? We get to draw lots of cards, and it's 8 damage. And they start panicking now. Down to 5, so they need an answer here. We draw 6 cards. Epic. Lots of lands. And we have no hand size for the rest of the game, which is just ludicrous. I actually always forget it has that ability. So they need... Yeah, damn, that's such a cool hit. That's such a cool hit.
Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.